This exhibition is called It's Not Over Yet. The idea of this exhibit really is to connect the small individual and the activities of individuals and people in small regions and towns with something larger and more universal. In the left-hand window is the Northampton Iraq Vigil, which has been vigiling since way before the war, protesting the sanctions on Iraq. The reason I did the piece is because I really believe that these people really are heroes and heroines and deserve celebration. In the other window, there is a piece called What Democracy Looks Like. It's covered with young people. They're all waving flags, climbing up on the pediment, and shouting down, "Tell me what democracy looks like." We were all marching between these pediments and calling up to them, "This is what democracy looks like." Big Send-Off basically depicts soldiers, battalions marching off to war, being sent off by the public. The politicians are represented here in caricature. Condoleezza Rice, George Bush, Cheney, congressmen, all of them, all in cahoots, driving this war. There's a small family unit in the left panel, and the mother is crying. She's the only one that really understands what this whole thing portends. The piece Return is a depiction of what we haven't been allowed to see, the hidden and secretive return of the dead soldiers. They're being unloaded under cover of dark. No one's allowed in the military bases where these planes fly in. Frances Crowe has been a peace activist for almost all of her life. Her personality, her vitality, her energy, her devotion has really galvanized this community. And I've actually depicted her in one of her most characteristic moments, passing out literature. She's always been insistent that she be depicted with something that said no war. Peace wasn't good enough for her. She wanted it to say no war. The largest piece in this show is called No War, from New York City to NoHo. If you look at the very top of the piece, that's actually Washington, D.C.'s capital with a flag. So the idea is that these peace marchers went all the way from Washington, D.C. through New York City, all the way to Northampton. There are quite a number, some of the characters that I've seen in many peace marches, I've added to this. You'll see the Buddhists. They never give up their focus on peace. We've got the peace cheerleaders in there. The signs are ones that I saw during these marches, and boy, people are so imaginative. They're wonderful. In the New York City panel, you can see that there are a number of police on horses, and they're very scary and threatening to crowds when you've got 6 horses coming at you. But as you come on down towards the foreground, you'll see the police are more on the sidelines. It's sort of the idea that we really did overwhelm them, both with our good spirit and with our numbers. This piece is called The Terrible Truth, and this is when the news of a soldier's death is given to a family. It's a dramatic piece and very expressionistic, but it's a terrible thing because people don't have a huge amount, but what they do have is their children. And the idea of robbing them of that, robbing them of the thing that is most important to them, it's outrageous. It really is. The piece Legacy it's George Bush and pretty much a nameless soldier, Condoleezza Rice and Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney and corporation guy standing in front of a hillside of graves. If you look at them, they are not accepting responsibility at all. They are either nonchalant, maybe even proud, as they stand in front of their true legacy in the world. I've gotten to use a lot of caricature during this because it's like the only weapon we have as artists. You know, most of the time I don't think about it that much. I'm just making the work. I don't think about it, but when I do, I'm shocked.